You're welcome back to my channel again today, guys. So we are going to get right into it. All right, so I'm going to be starting with the front bodice, and I'm drafting the basic bodice right now. So I've marked out my shoulder measurement, okay, and then on that line I came down by 1 inch, and then I joined it to the other edge. Okay, so I'm going to be marking out the shoulder, the bust point now. So that is what I just marked. The bust point that I'll be using is 11 inches, so I'll just mark that right across, and then I will join it with my ruler. So right after that, I'll be marking out the under bust measurement. So I'll be using 14 inches for the under bust here. So I'll go right ahead to mark it across my pattern paper as well. Okay, and then right after that I will join, of course, with my ruler. And then right after joining with my ruler, I'll be moving over to the waist measurement. So the waist measurements that I'll be working with is 16.5 inches. So I'll mark that on my pattern paper. Okay, so I'll just mark that right across my pattern paper, and then I will join with my ruler again. Thank you so much for stopping by. Kindly subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. So right after that, I'll be marking the hip line. Okay, so the hip line that I'll be working with here is 23 inches. So I'll mark that right across the pattern paper too, and then I will be joining with my ruler as well. Okay, so go right ahead and do the same thing. Mark all these points on your pattern paper. So right after the hip line, I'll be adding about 5 to 6 inches. Okay, so just add about 5 to 6 inches. So let me label first. That is the bust point, that is the under bust, that is the waist, that is the hip, and then I'll be adding extra 5 inches to the hip line. Okay, so go right ahead and do the same thing. Also be labeling that as the full length. All right, so now that all our parts are done, let's go back to our armhole. So I'll be coming down by 8 inches from the shoulder slant, and then I will join it. I will make a line with my ruler, and then I'll get the midpoint of that shoulder line. Okay, and then I will get the midpoint, and I'll be marking 0.5 inwards on that line, and then I'll be connecting all 3 lines with my curve. So go right ahead and do the same thing on your pattern paper. So with that, the shoulder part is done. We are going to be marking out our nipple to nipple measurements right now. That is for us to get our dart line. So I'll be marking 4 inches right from the extreme end, which is the hem, all the way to the bust point. Okay, and then I will connect all these points with my ruler. Go right ahead and do the same thing on your pattern. And then on the under bust line and the waistline, I'll be going out by 1 inch on both sides of the dart line that I just made. Okay, I will connect those lines, and then I will join them back to the main dart line with a slant. Okay, so just watch what I'm doing. This is we are still on the basic bodice pattern. Okay, so it's nothing difficult. So I'll join it back to the right after joining that part. Before I will proceed with the upper part, I'm going to be marking out the yoke parts for this top. Okay, so I marked out 6.5 inches from the shoulder downwards. Okay, and then I connected it with my ruler. All right, so right after that, I'll be extending the nipple to nipple line upwards. So I'll just mark 4 inches right there and join it to our former line. And then right after joining it, I will also mark out 1 inch on both sides of this nail line. Okay, so that is what I'm going to be connecting now to the bust points. I'll be connecting it to the bust points with a curve, both upwards and downwards. I hope you understand. Just watch what I'm doing, guys. So right after joining the curve at the under bust part, I'll also join it with another curve at that upper part. Okay, just watch what I'm doing. All I'm doing is creating my bust curve. Okay, so I'll just right on that bust point line, I will join it to the upper part with a gentle curve. All right, I will also do the same thing to the other side. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm. You just watch the way I'm making the curve now, and then go right ahead and do the same thing on your own pattern paper. Right, so this part is done now, so I'm going to be indicating the parts that will be cutting off now. So we are no longer in need of this part. I'll just mark it out so you know that we are cutting that part off. So moving on, we are going to be working on the little V-cut shape that is at the mid part of the blouse. Okay, so I came down by 1 inch and then I went in by 1 inch. Okay, so this totally depends on you, on how much cleavage you want to reveal. Okay, so I used 1 inch by 1 inch here, and I'll just join it with a little slant. Okay, and then I'll just reshape the upper part a little bit, so we are also cutting that part off. Okay, so moving on now, I'm going to be taking the body measurements. All right, so remember that we have taken off about 2 inches from the upper part, so just add it to your measurement with your sewing allowance. Okay, and then on the waist part, I'll also add the extra 2 inches for the dart intake. Okay, before adding my general sewing allowance. All right, and then on the full length part, you'll be using the hip measurement. Okay, so if your hip measurement is divided by 4, and then you will add the sewing allowance. I added about 2.5 inches sewing allowance. Okay, so I would not really need everything. I will still be cutting it off, but it's better to have excess than for it not to be enough after joining. I hope you get what I'm saying. So after joining and I'm satisfied with my measurements, I'll still cut it off. All right, so now I joined all the sides, and this is what we have. So because the front length is going to be different from the back length, okay, so because we want to eliminate any form of bulge here, all right, so I'm going on the bust point line, I'm going to be coming down by 1.5 inches. Okay, and then I'll connect it back to the line for the bust point. Just watch what I'm doing, guys. So in essence, the length on the side has been reduced by 1.5 inches. Okay, so this is not going to affect our measurements in any form. It's because we want the back length to be shorter than the front length, okay, to eliminate any form of bulge. So we are going to be closing that part later. And then I marked out for the neck, I marked out 3.5 inches for the width. Okay, and then on the side, because it is a slant, I'll be coming inwards by 2.5 inches. Okay, and then I'll go right ahead to connect it to the neck width that I just marked earlier. So whenever I'm joining my shoulder, I have to measure 2.5 inches for me to place it. I hope you understand what I just did. Okay, so with this now, we are going to be cutting off the this pattern. Okay, we'll be cutting it off, and then I'll be showing you how we are going to be closing the darts for the bust points that we made earlier. All right, so I just I'm cutting out the yoke part now. Okay, so I'm going to be indicating it on it so that I do not forget it whenever I want to join my outfit. Okay, so this is the yoke for the front, and then I will go right ahead to notch the upper part. Okay, and then indicate the neck part. So right after that, I'll be cutting off the entire pattern paper now. So let's go ahead. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Kindly subscribe to my channel. Okay guys, so now this is what I'm doing. I'm cutting off the other line. Don't forget that that part is on fold. Okay, please give this video a thumbs up. Kindly subscribe to my channel and share this video so that others can get to see it. All right, so I'm done with cutting off the front bodies. Now I'll be closing the darts on the side, on the bust point. Okay, so this is going to reduce the side measurement to match up with the back. Okay, please take note that this does not affect your front length in any way. Okay, so now you will see that our side measurement has reduced a little bit. All right, so this is going to match up with the back measurement. All right, so I'll go right ahead to close that part up, and then this is the final look of our front bodies. All right, so we'll be moving over to the back bodies now. So as usual, we are going to be marking out the basic bodies for this upper part. So I marked out the shoulder divided by 2, and then I came down by 1 inch, and then I'm marking out the bust point now. That is the bust point. Now for our waist measurements, remember that we use 16.5 inches for the front bodies, and the waist is going to be reduced now. So I'm going to remove 1.5 inches for that dart intake that I took earlier. Okay, so 16.5 minus 1.5, so the waist for the back is going to be 15 inches. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm trying to do. The waist for the back is going to be 15 inches. Now for the front bodies, from the waist to the full length, I'm going to measure it, and then whatever I have is what I'll be adding to the full length of that back. Okay, so for mine, I have about 11.5 inches. Yes, so I'm going to be adding 11.5 inches now to the waist length of this back. Okay, so this is now I have about 17.5. Okay, so I have 15 inches plus 11, so that's about 26.5 for my full length. So I'll be marking that part out, and then I'll go right ahead to do every other thing now. So I marked out my armhole. I came down by 8 inches. I marked it out, got the midpoint, came in by 0.5, and then I joined all the 3 curves. Okay, and then right after that, I moved to the dart line. I took 4 inches all the way up. Okay, and then I connected all the lines. All right, and then on the waist part, I took in 0.5 on both sides, and then I connected back to the line. I hope you understand. This is just the basic bodies for the back right now. Okay, so I connected it back to the back, and then I connected it back to that bust point line. All right, so I hope you understand what I'm doing. So right after that, on that waist part, for the zipper allowance, I'll go in by 0.5. okay, so this is for our zipper to relax very well, so I'll just connect it right back to the length, and then to the zipper allowance part for the upper part. Okay, so the zipper allowance is no longer straight now, it's a little bit slant to accommodate the zip, to make it very flat. I hope you understand. So this is the part that we're going to be cutting now, no longer straight. Okay, so right after that, I'll be marking out the yoke for the back. Okay, so I just used about 7 inches for this yoke. It's just going to be the regular zipper back, just straight to the upper part, no form of pattern here. So I just marked out 7 inches. That is the yoke for the back, and don't forget that all these things will have zipper allowance. So I'm just indicating it right there. It's going to have zipper allowance, and then I will extend that line upwards a little bit. Okay, I'll extend the 4 inches upwards, and then I will redraw my dart line. Okay, so that is all about it, and we'll move over to the neck. Okay, after marking out this part, we'll move over to the neck. So I went in by that same 3.5 inches width. Okay, and then I came down by about 1.5 inches. Okay, so I'll just go right ahead to draw out my neck curve at this point. Okay, so all done now. I will just move right ahead to take my body measurement now. Take note of the dart intake that we have done. Okay, add it to your allowance. So take your bust measurements, add the sewing allowance, take your waist measurement, add the 1 inch for the dart intake that we took in, and 1/2 inch for the zipper, and then you add your sewing allowance. Then on the hip side, you mark out your hip measurements divided by 4, and then you add your your sewing allowance. Okay, so I'll just go right ahead to connect all my lines. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and please give this video a thumbs up. Kindly share it so others can get to see it. Okay, so with this, the back bodice is done. I will just go right ahead to cut everything out now. All right, so right after cutting it out, remember to add your zipper allowance so you do not forget, and then I will go right ahead to cut it out now. So do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and please share it so others can get to see it, and most importantly, kindly subscribe to my channel. So cutting off all the parts that we need to cut off now. So this is what it looks like after cutting off the dart. Okay, so I will just go right ahead to indicate the upper parts by notching both the middle parts and the sides for the back. All right, now I'm going to also indicate the size that I'm going to be joining. So in my next video, we are going to be looking at the joining of this pattern and how exactly we can achieve the pattern on the lower parts. Okay, so watch out for my next video, and please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Now you can see that both sides of the front and back are equal. All right, so see you guys in my next video. Bye.